want our guests to understand where the meat's coming from. We're able to tell them that we broke this animal down all by ourselves. We knew what it looked like whole, and then present it to them. We have the knowledge to be able to break the animals down and then also prepare each cut the best possible way. So it's just a fuller experience for our guests, and that's what we're trying to provide. Obviously, we're not butchering like a butcher shop would, because they're going to sell retail cuts of meat. So we're just breaking it down into sizes and portions that we can use in a restaurant setting. So it's a much different style. Most of this is all kind of old world techniques that have just been tried and true practices. I mean, like I said, obviously different countries butcher in different styles. I spent some time in Europe with both butchers in France and in Spain, and even with the proximity of those two countries, they definitely butcher differently. It's all a matter of what the people are used to. You know, their parents are the ones who went to the butcher shops and bought certain cuts, so that's how they learn, and they go and they buy those same cuts of meat. So that's what establishes the demand for how they butcher the meat, I suppose. So a big part of butchery is, again, understanding where the bones are and just taking it apart, how the animal is put together. So, and you don't need a whole lot of the knife. Mostly just the tip of the knife is what you work with. So, obviously, when you're cooking meat, fat is important in keeping the meat moist, and it's also where a lot of the flavor is, which happens to be on lamb pretty gamey. So that's why I think a lot of people say they don't like lamb. It's just they've either had lamb that's too old or with a high fat content, and it just carries so much of the flavor, the gaminess of it, which some people like and some people do not. So it's all about, you know, the proper animal husbandry. It all correlates to the flavor of the meat, how the animal was treated in its life, and ultimately we want to know that the animal was cared for during its lifetime. What we're looking for is just to keep the bone as clean as possible, because obviously meat is money, and any left behind on the bone is money that you're not making. So that's where it really is the difference between a skilled butcher and someone who's just cutting the meat. And that's a dear lesson that I learned when I was in Europe, because there I'm an amateur still.